Alright, welcome to the GSL Code A. This is the Hot 6 Season 1. How are you feeling, Caldor?
I'm actually really excited about today. How about you, Wolf?
I'm feeling pretty excited too. We've got some really interesting matches. I wouldn't say we have any star players in our lineup, but we definitely have some players that are going to be well matched with each other. And we've got, for example, Ryung from Brood War coming in here, the next Elephant. And we'll see if he can beat TvZ or not. Should be a close match, I have to say.
Yep, it's going to be a good one. And we have JYP, for example, as well. And this is going to be a really nice match because he is facing Live today. And Live did pretty well recently. He won the Iron Squid Qualifier 2, so he's going to Paris. I think it's in March. And yeah, that should be quite a nice and an interesting game, especially with JYP doing really well against Zerg lately. Home Story Cup comes to mind, where he beat not only Dimaga, but also Violet with 3-1.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see how he does here. I mean, Xenex is a clan that is always kind of a mystery. No one really knows, how the players are training, how they're doing. But, for example, like you said, the Iron Squid Qualifier is one way to judge his skill. And he's playing against JYP, the last player from EG to be in the GSL. And, one of our last players from foreign teams here. We still have Sen, of course, and Maro is yet to play. So, if you're a foreigner fan, even though JYP is Korean, he's on a foreigner team. If you're an EG supporter, got to root for him there. For sure. We're going to take a look at our first players by the looks of things. And it is going to be Ryung versus Annyung.
Yep, that's going to be the first match today. Going to be a Terran versus Zerg. Should be really interesting. It's actually kind of nice. It's the first time for us to cast in 2012, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, man. Welcome to 2012.
Has been a while.
It has been a while. I've been missing casting with you, man.
Yeah, likewise.
We're back together now. All right, so here are our players. Actually, this is our results from last week. Sniper took out Clyde 2-0. That was a kind of surprising result. Then, of course, the STC being Lacira, another surprising result. Clyde and Lacira out of the GSL. Core, I don't think anyone really expected him to go up over 4GG, and of course, down he went. And last but not least, for our other stream last week, we had Monster go 0-2 against Seed. Seed 2-0ing Monster there, and doing a debut in the GSL. And of course, the other stream, the stream with Moletrap and I, we had Sen barely edge out True, advancing, and of course July taking out June, making him look pretty bad as well. And finally, Avenge and Bumblebee taking out our two EG players. Idra and Huck are some of our fan favorite foreigners knocked out of the GSL completely. What are your thoughts on those matches, Caldor?
I have to say that when I saw the results, I was obviously a little bit disappointed. I was rooting for the foreigners quite a bit, and I was streaming the second stream, as you already mentioned, and the whole time I just told them, keep me updated how the foreigners actually play, what the results are. And when I heard that both of them were out, I was really disappointed. Well, it's going to be a hard road back if you could ask for them.
Definitely so. Now, these are those matches on Moletrap's stream. We're going to have Bomber against Heart, Squirtle against Seal. That should be a good one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Against Sculpt. Pretty even matchup there, I would say. And Virus versus Cezanne, too. Kind of borderline players. I don't know, Virus and Cezanne are both mediocre players, I feel like, so it's kind of a close match. They're both strong enough to be still in Code A. We'll see which one of them gets knocked out. Remember, guys, today is what I like to call a danger day, meaning any player who loses today is completely out of the GSL and has to requalify.
It's going to be a very, very interesting day, ladies and gentlemen. Actually, I think that Yu-Gi-Oh! Against Sculpt is kind of nice to watch too. So you mentioned it earlier, we don't have really huge stars today, maybe except for Bomba, who did that all-kill in the GSTL. But we have a lot of evenly matched players, and this should be a couple of really good games.
Yeah, I think so.
By the way, talking about Sen, I actually think that it's kind of funny that Sen flew back to Taiwan. I mean, it's just around the corner, but he is just flying in for his matches, and the next day he's flying out again in order to train at home.
Very true.
Really cool.
Now, here are the matches we're going to be seeing on our stream. It's going to be Ryung versus Annyung. That'll be our first match. And then TvZ versus TSL My Way. Now, for those of you guys who don't know who that is, it's a Brood War player. He only played for MBC Game, who recently joined TSL. This is his first debut in the GSL. So look forward to his play. And, of course, Lovesick versus Ace. Ace, a super old school player. He's been around a long time. Requalified through Code B, and Lovesick, of course, used to be known as OGSJ. He's been around a while. And finally, our EG player JYP against Xenex Life. You mentioned earlier that was going to be one of your favorite matches, and I think definitely could be a good one for sure. Yeah,
we have a lot of good matches today. The first one will, as Wolf already mentioned, be Ryung against Annyung. Here they are, Terran versus Zerg, and the first map today is going to be Metropolis, which I really like for this matchup.
Yeah, it's
pretty
a cool
cool
map. I really like it. My favorite part of the map is actually the islands with the creep tumor on it. I really like that, where you can take an island, but it takes a lot of effort. And if you're a Zerg player, it's a little bit less effort, but you still have to get there somehow. It's just really interesting.
The first time I saw the map, I was like, how the hell did he get the creep tumor over there? Does he have Overlord drop? And then suddenly I realized, okay, it's a map thing.
Yeah. Quite interesting. Well, the map is loaded. Caldor, are you ready?
Hell yeah, I am. Terran versus Zerg, ladies and gentlemen. We have Prime against Slayers, Ryung against Annyung, heading into the first match right now. And here we are with our first player today in the red at the starting position at 6 o'clock. We have the Terran player for Slayers. It is
Ryung.
So, Ryung.
Slayers Ryung.
There we go. Ryung means like a soul in Korean.
And here we have his opponent in the blue.
Annyung Prime.
Well, for some reason, Annyung gets his, his sign and his overlay.
He slipped some money under the table, made sure that it was said correctly.
Okay, listen, guys, I really want to put my name out there, so...
Well, this is... Annyung has actually played in a lot of foreign events. He played in several Epics Open events that I used to cast, and do sometimes, from time to time, continue to cast, but he always did pretty well there.
Yeah.
You know, he played in some of those King of the Hills and played in the Invitational Series, and he's always been a pretty top-notch player, especially in ZBT, so...
You're perfectly right. Annyung is one of those players that plays a lot on the North American server, and even the European server as well. Polt comes to mind when we think about players that actually play cross-server, so there are a lot of them, and Annyung is amongst them, and he's doing quite well. In regards to his Terran versus Zerg, he has a 47% win ratio. He won 14 games, lost 16, and the last few matches he had to face Jakji and players like him, so he lost the last TvZs that he played. But so did Ryung. Ryung lost against Zerg, he lost 1-2 against Symbol, and which is kind of interesting, he also lost tomorrow. He lost tomorrow when Moro was playing the up and downs in the GSL, so that would be quite interesting. Moro is, by the way, playing next week.
Yeah.
His Code 8 matches.
Definitely be sure to tune to that. He'll be playing against Maru, and it'll be a funny cast.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's the two of us, isn't it?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
So
It'll be a good one.
Yeah, it'll be good for sure. Now, Ryung looks like he's going to be going for a gasless expand here. He's not taken either of his gases, and his opponent has gone hatch first and then gas before a pool. And now that he's scouted no gases, he's going to feel pretty comfortable with his choice. Actually, yeah, he did get in there and scout. I don't know where his drone went. Disappeared. Mystery drone.
We already have the command center now for Ryung, no surprise there. Without the gas, he starts with an early expo as well. And Metropolis is just a map where we've actually seen a lot of early aggression on Metropolis because players realize that a lot of their opponents will try to get super greedy and try to punish it early on. But it's a huge map and you can get away with a lot of greed in the early game. So I like those late games on Metropolis. It's just really nice because, especially for the Terran player, in the mid game, as long as you secure those 2 passages to the bottom left in this particular situation, you have the option to get 5 bases, and that is just so awesome for a late game. You can get nukes whatever you want, your heart desires. The Zerg takes the rest of the map, is quite happy with it, but we've seen epic battles.
Oh, absolutely. And now Ryung has scouted with his SCV. Now, notice also Ryung has been very actively trying to catch this Overlord, but the Overlord is positioned over the cliff, and Ryung can see the shadow, so he knows it's there, but he can't get it. It doesn't have vision, and he's actually bunkered up already. His command center is finishing up. He's in a pretty good spot. This is actually a really good build order for Ryung compared to his opponent. You know, he's taking a very safe and fast command center, and Annyung's going to have to now consider taking a fast third or putting some pressure on pretty soon to punish him for that. Now also, oh, go ahead. I was just going to say that this is a map to consider the third base on is very similar to the new Blizzard map in Toon Valley, where you can take the third, there's no rocks blocking it, but to securely take it, you will have to eventually kill the rocks.
Yeah, exactly. You have to take down these rocks. And now Ryung is already getting the factory and the reactor. He wants to put a little of pressure onto Ryung and try to deny that third base. Try to make sure that the third base is not built just yet, and of course try to kill a couple of creep tumors so that the creep is not spreading across the map already. But wow! Annyung already getting pretty aggressive. He's building 20 links, and this is exactly what we've been talking about, Wolf. Players trying to get a little bit aggressive in the early game because they hope that their opponent will just get so greedy that they can punish him for it.
Yeah, and right now there's only the one bunker there. There's no SCVs pre-pulled to repair. A third base does go down for Annyung, so he is going to expand behind this aggression. He does have the watchtower, sees that there's no scouting whatsoever for Ryung for this.
And here come the Zerglings, ladies and gentlemen. The Hellions spot them. The bunker is already being attacked.
Oh,
no SCVs for repair. Whoa! What was that? He actually lets him into the main base, and here's Annyung wreaking havoc amongst the SCVs at the main base, in the main base, and the second. Wow, this is horrible for Ryung right now.
Oh man, this actually I think may just end the game, Caldor, because he has lost so many workers here. He does clean up with the mules, but right now the worker count, 32 drones to 15 SCVs, and he's not done yet.
And he completely blacked out. He didn't lift the supply depot even after the Zerglings went to the main base, so the rest of the links could join their brothers in the main, and now he already is about to kill so many units. 20 SCVs have died so far. This is horrible for Ryung.
And you know the thing is about the lifting on the depot, if he had lifted the depot after those links came in, then the SCVs on the outside would have definitely died for sure. So I think that might have been why he was like, it's a lose-lose situation. If I lock the SCVs out, they all die. But then he lost even more because he didn't lift it. So it's a lose-lose situation for sure. He just lost more.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. He lost the SCVs on the outside anyways, and then the Zerg was able to slip into the main base with the Zerglings. I just don't know what Ryung was thinking. I think he was completely surprised by what happened.
Absolutely, man. He had no scouting of it whatsoever. The watchtower was taken away from him before the lings were shown, so he had no reason to believe there were lings coming. Now, 39 drones and 17 workers. Stim is about to finish. Some Marauders are on the way, but the droning is intense for Annyung. He does have that third base up. A little bit of pressure here with these Hellions, but there's a spine well placed.
And the problem for Ryung is now that the creep spread has already grown really, really fast, so he can now attack those Hellions. As soon as they get on creep, those Zerglings will be so super fast, they can just surround the Hellions, and then Ryung doesn't have anything to put pressure on to Annyung.
Yeah, he is behind in every sense of the word. 9 drones in production right now. 1-1 upgrades for Annyung on the way as well. +1 melee, +1 carapace. And these rocks are almost destroyed, so he's going to be able to secure that third base. He's already got it, but he's not transferred any drones there just yet. Just trying to play it safe with that.
He's getting +1/+1, as Wolf already mentioned. We have the lair tech, we have Banelings now. And Slayer's Ryung is now moving across the map with a small force, but Annyung doesn't play as greedy as he's hoping for. He still has a bunch of Zerglings, he's going for the Banelings as well. And with all those hatches, he should be able to get a lot of Zerglings as soon as he detects his opponent's force, and that's happening right now.
Second he steps on that creep, he knows it's coming. And it looks like these Queens are going to try to buy some time here. A lot of Zerglings coming for the surround, and he does get the majority of those Marines. And now there's nothing but Queens here. Nice transfuse saves the Queen.
The Baneling nest not done just yet, but more and more Zerglings join the party, now trying to force the Hellions and Marauders back. Most of the Marauders are already gone, and with only Hellions, he won't be able to take down the Queens that easily. 2 of them die, but the Zerglings are now in position. Ryung putting up a lot of pressure, doing a really good job, but Annyung just has too much.
He just has too much, you're exactly right, Caldor. The Queen's actually picking the real damage dealers in this fight. And to be honest, now Ryung stands even further behind than before. It's 81 supply to 49. Ryung was not able to pressure the third base. I would have liked to see him attack into the third hatchery instead of trying to break through the natural there.
And he would actually have been able to do a lot of damage, because I think the rocks are still in position, are they?
They're not quite dead yet, so he actually would have done a lot of damage at that third, but instead did not go for that. Now there are the last 5 and 6 gases being taken here. He's got 7 more drones in production. He's got Banelings on the way. Remember, he has 1-1. He's going to start a Spire pretty soon, I would expect. May even get an Infestation Pit. He actually can do that right now if he wants to.
Right now, he can do whatever he pleases to. He has +2/+2 coming up, the speed for the Banelings, every single upgrade that matters to him right now. And, of course, a lot of additional drones. The Overseer just scouting a little bit what's happening in the main base. And for a quick second, Annyung will be supply blocked. A little bit annoying, but not all that much of a problem.
Yeah, he's got 4 Overlords on the way. They're about to pop out. And still no lair tech shown to us just yet. I'm really curious to see what he's going to choose. I really expect to see an Infestation Pit rather than Spire in this case, but a lot of Zerglings being picked off here by Ryung. That's a small victory for him right now as he tries to push forward again. He's going to want to take out some of this creep because the creep spread is getting out of control, as is the worker count. I noticed you just saw 76 to about 40.
And we have a lot of Zerglings being built. He seems to rely on Zerglings and Banelings right now, but I have to agree with you, Wolf. I would really love him to place down at least the Infestation Pit so that he can get the tech to Hive. There it is. There is Infestation Pit being built so that he can access the +3/+3 upgrades with the Hive tech, that he can get Adrenal Glands, and obviously also the additional techs later on.
And with these types of upgrades that he's been getting, the Infestor tech is just such a nice complement to that, because you can trap units and Zerglings do a ton of extra damage with their upgrades. It's just a great complement unit to have, and when you're ahead, it's just really easy to go Infestors.
Annyung, on the other hand, is faced with the problem that Ryung is now getting back into the game. Obviously, he's still behind, but with the 3 orbitals at his disposal, he can just get a lot of mules. He will try to get the 3rd very soon as well. Getting Blue Flame now because he realized that his opponent is just playing so Zergling heavy with the Banelings. That's the Hive tech, but still, Annyung has to be really careful.
He does have to be very careful, and you know, I'm curious to see.
Look at those Zerglings! 50 additional Zerglings.
Yeah,
he will have like 120.
He's playing this very Zergling heavy style. He's going to use the Infestors to complement this, but I'd really like to see Annyung secure even another base. He's taken a base at the 3 o'clock position. He could take the one at the 4 as well.
64 Banelings are being morphed right now.
Well, this is one way to use your advantage and use those Banelings to trade really efficiently against Ryung's army. Ryung's tank count quite low right now, at only 2 siege tanks. There are 2 Marauders on the field as well.
And the Hellions with the Blue Flame won't do him any good at all, because Banelings are not light armored, therefore they don't take the full damage of Blue Flame Hellions.
We'll see how well this attack goes for Annyung. He's up about 40 supply right now. There's a small depot wall here. He may just crash through it, though.
Well, he certainly will if he's attacking the 2nd, that is, but I think he's aiming for the 3rd right now. And he has been spotted. Ryung knows what's up. There are the Banelings.
Here they come.
They are everywhere. Oh my god.
Wow. And now these SCVs are up for grabs. A bunch of Marines here. Good splitting and pulling back on those Marines, though. Actually, the 2nd wave of Banelings didn't do that much, but the Zerglings are still breaking havoc. The production facilities are surrounded, and I think this is game over, Kaldor.
Look how he's dropping in supply. He's down to 65 now against 160. Even though he picked up a lot of these Banelings, he was not in a position where he could deal with the whole force of Annyung, and now 9 Infestors are being built. He's going for the follow-up. That was just beautiful, really well executed by Annyung, and that's the GG.
2-2 upgrades against 1-1. A huge lead from that early Ling run by, and Ryung just could not keep up after that.
Yeah, it was really a very, very huge early game advantage that Annyung was able to get, and now Ryung is down 1 game in this best-of-3 series.
I feel, you know, Ryung actually didn't do anything wrong in that early game. Of course, the depot raising was a little bit of a blunder, but even so, even if he had raised it, he would have lost so much anyways, he would have been behind. What I really like that Annyung did was he took the watchtower first. He made sure the Zerglings were hidden, and there was no reason for Ryung to believe that that was going to happen. And then it happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Just as he planned.
You mentioned that scouting is really important, especially on a huge map like Metropolis, and he was able to take the watchtower from his opponent. So.
And on a map like this, it's the last thing you'd expect.
Yeah,
30, 40 Zerglings running down your natural that early in the game. That's not what you would expect.
And it's exactly what we talked about earlier. You can try to get aggressive on a map like Metropolis because you just expect your opponent to play a little bit greedy.
Yeah.
And it can just backfire. And now it did. Ryung with a huge problem in hand. So Annyung up 1 game, and the next match will take place on Cloud Kingdom.
Yeah. We'll see our Space Shark in action on Cloud Kingdom here. So a lot of people have been tweeting me about this, saying that Nick and Dan, Tastelor and Toast, are not calling it Space Shark. I gotta talk to them about that. This is actually a Space Shark. It's not just a flying shark or like a great white. I don't know what they're calling it, but it's a Space Shark. I know all about the critters in Starcraft, man. I know about the Space Shark. The Space Shark cannot be targeted, actually. It's on another plane of reality than the rest of the units in the game, actually. Cannot be targeted, but it has a shadow. Okay, it has a shadow, so is it really there? Or is the shadow also a figment of our imaginations, man? I don't know.
I'm a little bit out of my depth right now. I have no idea.
How does a shark survive in space, though? What's its diet?
But it sounds like it's a pretty cool thing to be a space shark.
It is, man. Imagine if you were a space shark.
Yeah, what's going on that if I was reborn, I want to be a cat because cats have such an awesome life, but maybe I want to be a space shark after all.
Well, man, if you're a space shark, look, imagine how cool it is to watch the GSL, but imagine if you're just watching the GSL in the game as a space shark. No one could shoot at you, you're fine. It's not like a Scandipede where someone might accidentally kill you, you might get killed by alien splash damage or siege splash damage. No, it's not like that.
Okay. Okay. I'm sold. It's a space shark.
All right.
My next life, I want to be a space shark.
We're going to jump in the game now with Wolf and Caldor the Space Shark at the GSL. You're not a space shark yet, actually. You're not dead.